First of all, okay, I am John Collins. I'm a DJ and producer for Underground Resistance. Many clubs here in Detroit I played at, been on the radio, mixed shows. I've done booking and management for artists and a lot of these guys as well as a booking agent. So I've done a lot. I mean, and now I'm still DJing. You know, get to travel sometimes overseas and play here in Detroit. And I work very closely with Underground Resistance and Submerge, which is where you are. And welcome to Detroit.
Thank you so much.
And I don't know how much Mike told you about Submerge. Submerge is
Yes.
our distribution company.
Yes.
And we distribute vinyl worldwide for all of our artists. And we have done probably everybody in Detroit at one point in time. So that's our one company. And then Underground Resistance is a label, which is very well known, techno label, founded by Mike Banks, Jeff Mills, and Rob Hood. And the rest is history. UR is a big techno label. Jeff has his label Axis, which is, he's huge. Of course, we all know who Jeff is. And Rob Hood, who is responsible for minimal techno. He's actually the creator of minimal techno. So, this is the Underground Resistance showcase, which the top shelf shows influences people, groups that influence Underground Resistance or Mike Banks and Jeff. And of course, Kraftwerk is for everybody. You know.
Yes.
And we have, on the bottom row, we have records. We actually put out Kenny Dixon's first record. Jay Dilla, who's a rapper, I don't know if you've heard of him, put out his first record. And a lot of people, a lot of artists.
Robert Wood, first records too.
Yes. We've actually put out a lot for a whole lot of people in Detroit who've gone on to start their own labels. Because one thing that we kind of impress upon people is to be independent and have your own versus, maybe signing with a major. You have more control if you have your own label independent. Might be a little rough, but still, it's yours, do what you want to do, so that's one thing that we teach. So let's go back over here, short. So there's the founders, and on this row, excluding her, are DJs who had radio shows. And we played a lot of the early Detroit techno on the radio. Al Olden, who's also a techno DJ, it's called DJ 1000 as well. He was on, I think, WDET. Of course, Jeff Mills was on WJLB, known as the Wizard in Detroit. Very, very, very popular DJ.
Yes, I know.
And myself, I was on WJLB and WDRQ as well. And these two guys are now deceased. Ken Collier is a club DJ who actually got a chance to play overseas a couple times, but he preferred to play in Detroit. Very, very progressive, played a lot of the music. A lot of DJs would come to his club. It was a gay club too, with so much energy. It was just a wonderful club. They give him a lot of props, as an influence, because he was already an established DJ when they were coming up. Dwayne Bradley was also a club DJ here in Detroit, a club called Todd's, and he eventually went to radio, had house music shows, and played a lot of the early stuff. I played at a club called The Warehouse in Detroit, and it was we did a live broadcast from the club on the radio. So a lot of the producers, Mike and the other guys, would come down, hand me a product, and like, can you play our record? Because it'd be on the radio. And I did as much as I could, because you have to be kind of careful when you're in that kind of position, because you have to kind of play for a lot of different people. But I did as much as I could. And Mike never forgot that. So we've become very, very, very close. And I actually manage here, one of the managers here as well. So I have many hats. I wear many hats. I'm glad that Mike is still here. He would never leave Detroit. Derek is still here. Carl is here. Juan is still here. Because, I mean, just like you wanted to come here, people come to Detroit because of them. What they created, you know, with techno music. And, you know, and then once you become huge, you know, and then things change, you know, I can't really, you know, fault them, although I wish they were all still here, but they come back all the time. You know, Jeff is here, you know, because he has a place in Chicago as well. He has a store in Chicago, which is only 4 hours away. His parents are still here. So he's in and out, you know, we see him all the time. 107.5 here in Detroit. One of the few on-the-air personalities who could program his own music, because most music is programmed by the program director. Unless you're a mix show DJ, you can basically play what you want. So he played country, he played classical, he played opera, he played R&B, he played pop. So when this music started, he started playing their music on the radio. So he helped expose it to the Detroit area, you know. And then in the clubs, you know, on some clubs, you know, all of a sudden there was just new music that we, you know, we didn't know what it was, but it was great, it was good, and it had a large underground following. And he also, there was a radio show called Deep Space 9, which these guys played also on his radio station. More, not necessarily R&B, but it was soul because of the influence from Berry Gordy on those guys. Now, when techno, in my opinion, got overseas, some of those producers were not able to replicate that part, that soulfulness that the Detroit founders, and maybe they could only do it because it was done here in Detroit and because of the many different influences. But yeah, so Detroit's techno to me is more soulful, yeah, that's the point I want to make. One of the main guys who mastered all the techno records out of Detroit. I think Juan and Derek found them first, and then everybody else started using them. And then people from overseas, once they found out about him, he started doing their music as well. Because he was really kind of like, what is this crazy music? Because he didn't understand it at first, but he was able to master it a certain way. So, and when he died, he left, this is the lathe that he used to Underground Resistance in his will. Equalize it, and all the tricks you had to do yourself, you know, nowadays. And laptop DJs, that's a whole nother story for me. So when you come back, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Because I mean, you know, and of course technology advances, I understand that, you know, it is great, but when you get a DJ and all he has is a laptop, and the laptop is programming everything for him, or there are DJs who come with pre-recorded music and their set's already done and they're up there like they're really, you know, all these people, and like they're doing something, they're not doing anything. They might be EQing it, but that's about it. And that's not a real DJ to me. So, like I said, next time you come, I have a whole thing about those types of DJs. I know a lot of DJs, they practice the set that they're going to play. So what about, you know, if you get to the club and that programming, it doesn't work? What do you do? You know, so for me, and I've always done this, and I think a lot of DJs do, you feed off the energy of the crowd, they feed off of you, and the crowd can even tell you what to play next. Or, you know, not necessarily the song, but what that groove should be like to take them to the next level, because it's to DJing, you know, is a thing that you start off maybe low, but you build up to a crescendo, and just you're up here at the end of the night. And I think a lot of DJs now don't know anything about that, and they need to learn. And this map indicates a lot of places where our music, where people have bought our music, where we've performed, and people who have been here from other countries and stuff. This is our record store. And see the people have signed their names, people from everywhere. So we sell records, we do mail orders, and we sell merchandise as well.
Yes.
Hello, Bridget.
Hey, Dad.
How are you?
Okay.
Hello.
That's so fun.